They just look like a fancy chicken, don't they? All right. Hey, good morning, guys. Yesterday, only stopping for bathroom breaks, fuel, and food. I left Baton Rouge, Louisiana around 7 a.m. and got here at Santa Clara Ranch at 11 p.m. That was a really long day. Yeah, Trinity and I were booking it, but we made some good stops for lunch and dinner, good long breaks there, got some work done, did some editing, things like that, uploaded some pictures, and then just 10 minute breaks for fuel. There's Trinity's hiding over here in the corner. You can barely see her over there. But we made it to Hector's amazing ranch here in Santa Clara, which is just north of the Mexican border. And I am so glad that I don't have to ride today. Trinity and I are taking a break. We are not riding, we are just photographing. So we're gonna go out and photograph some nature and wildlife, some beautiful things here in southern Texas. And then tomorrow morning, bright and early, cross the border into Mexico. All right, there's the main man, Hector Astorga. He's picking me up, Santa Clara Ranch, and we are off to photograph some raptors this morning. It's gonna be another good day. All right, we are out here. Gonna sit in this cool little blind Hector's got set up, and already we have a couple of raptors here. Check this out. That's a Harris hawk right there. I think Hector said, this is Molly?
I think so, yeah. That's a big one. So that's gotta be the female. Yeah.
That is hilarious. They have them named. Hi Molly. Can't wait to photograph you. Oh, that's cool. Get down where the greenery is.
Yeah, they'll start.
We don't want the gray background. The man, the myth, the legend, getting his gear ready.
I don't know about that.
So, Hector, how long have you had this place working as a photography ranch?
We've been doing this, the ranch has been open since 2007, and then I came on board in 2009. So I've been here 10 years.
Wow.
That's where I got my start, and of course I branched out to other places, but this is where I got my start.
All right, let's see if we can find us some birds. All right, so what lens are you using?
This is a 500 f4, the Nikon 500 f4, and I'm using an 850, the D850.
850, okay. So we're shooting with the same camera. This is the 300 PF from Phase for Now Technology. But so, tell me again, 850?
What I love about the 850 is the dynamic range that this camera has. It's just phenomenal, especially for wildlife photographers where we're working, like today, we're working with a bird that's going to be half white, half black. The dynamic range that I'm going to get with this camera versus another camera is just much better.
It was a bright sunny day out, that white part of the Caracara.
Correct.
You could pull that back in Photoshop.
You can pull that back in, correct. So basically I would expose to the right, so I would push my whites as far right as possible on the histogram, so that way I can bring as much detail into the blacks as possible without blowing the whites. And of course they're going to still be dark because again of the big contrast of the bird, so that way when I'm working with my shadows I don't have to move that slider as much as I expose to the right. Another one coming in. Third one coming in.
These guys mostly feeding on rabbits?
They're carrion eaters.
Oh,
Caracaras are
really?
carrion eaters. Oh yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Caracaras is a carrion eater bird.
Oh.
I mean, they do hunt, but they're more opportunistic birds. Like if they find a baby rabbit, and they're not gonna hunt like a hawk will or anything like that. No, they're. But yeah, they're mostly carrion eaters.
More like a vulture family.
Correct. Although Caracara is not a hawk nor a vulture. Caracara is a falcon.
And that one was like, I'm taking this. So how old do you think?
This guy was born this year. Now you'll fly one more time to the other one.
Smart. Now turn and face us. So is he making that sound through his throat or is he clicking his beak?
I have no idea.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he's making that sound because there's other caracaras coming in and he's telling them this is mine.
Yeah, back off. It's so funny where one of them will be sitting on a branch and wait and somebody else will attack and then
the other one
they
sneaks in.
chased him out and the other one sneaks. Yep. Very territorial.
And they're gonna probably beat him up in the air. I tried to. You know, people ask me all the time, how do you go to Kenya? How do you go to Guatemala? And you're not afraid, or, you know, because of what's going on over there and things like that. And it's like anywhere else in the world, you know, it's knowing where to go and where not to go. And everywhere I go international, I always have a local guide with me. I mean, there's no, it's not a, it's a rule that I have for all my trips. You know, you have to have a local person with you that knows the area, that knows where to go, where not to go. If some, you know, God forbid something were to happen, you know, he knows where to do, what to do. You know, so you have a local guide helping you. Plus, of course, you've been there many times yourself, but still, you always have a local guide to help you. So what you're doing in Mexico, of course, makes a lot of sense. You're going to be with somebody that's from there. They'll tell you what to do, what not to do, what to avoid, where you're going to be safe. You know, it's
And
like,
have you found when you're traveling internationally, do you think people are mostly good and friendly and helpful?
oh yes,
Yeah.
you know, I've never had, you know, I've never knocked wood. I've never had a bad problem, you know, anywhere. Oh, another Harris hawk. We got a fourth Harris hawk now. That's not part of the family, and that's why she's after him. See that?
Tell me all the places
You know,
you've been.
oh my God.
List them. Come on.
All over Latin America, you know, all over South America, all over Central America, Mexico, you know, U.S., Canada, and then in Europe, I've been to Italy, Germany, France, all over Scandinavia. I have family there.
And you're
Africa.
usually carrying stuff that's a year's salary to
Correct,
some
you know,
Africans.
so, you know, and again, it's knowing where to go, where not to go. I mean, there's some places in Nairobi that my guides don't go. Harris hawk coming in. Another juvenile.
Same family or not?
No, that's a different juvenile because the other juvenile is over here. That's a juvenile probably from the other family.
Oh.
See, I told you we have two families coming in right now,
Oh, okay.
and they don't like each other. Yeah, because this is the other juvie, the one eating. Here comes the hawk. This is the blind that David Archer was walking in, and as he's walking there, Bobcat ran out.
No way.
Bobcat was asleep in the blind.
That's cool.
He's about a foot behind the brush. And a chance. Oh God, they missed the perch up. But here comes the rope.
Hey guys, this is Chris from Chris and Cami Photography, and I just photographed my very first Roadrunner. This is awesome. I've had an amazing experience here at Hector Astorga's Wildlife Ranch. It's called Santa Clara, and it's in southern Texas, and he's got all these blinds all over the property set up. He'll bring food out for the birds, and man, it's just a really neat experience to be out here in nature and watch the birds come to you and feed. Anyway, I wanted to give a big shout out to Hector. Thank you so much, my friend. This place is awesome. If anybody gets a chance to be in this area and photograph down here, you got to check it out. Hey, good morning, guys. This is Chris from Chris and Cami Photography, and yesterday we had an amazing time photographing the wonderful birds here at Santa Clara Bird Ranch, and I had a bunch of questions on what gear I was using, and so as a photography tutorial, if you're not a photo buff, you can skip this part, but I wanted to show you guys a little bit about what I was using. Since I am riding a motorcycle, of course, I have to pack super light, and I found some amazing tools that make me able to do my job, yet still pack them really super small. The first of which is this carbon fiber tripod. It's made by Moto. This is the Globetrotter carbon fiber. And as you could see, I had it fitted inside this tiny little bag that fits inside one of my panniers. And so, and it'll raise up to full height. I mean, I can stand full length up and be able to use it. And it opens pretty quickly. Not the fastest to set up, but for the benefit of the small size, it's totally worth it. All right, and the column, of course, goes up or down. I'll just kind of set that there so we can play with the gear. All right, so then the next thing I have is the Nikon D850. Now, why did I choose the D850? Well, I have to have kind of a jack-of-all-trades camera on this trip. I want to be able to shoot portraiture, I want to be able to shoot landscape, I want to be able to shoot wildlife. What camera is going to fit that niche the best? If I was just shooting wildlife, I'd probably pick the D5 for the high frame rate, or the D500 because it has that crop sensor, so it gives me extra reach on the camera. However, I went with the D850. The D850 is super high resolution, so I can crop the photo similar to how I would crop it in the D500 and still get just as many megapixels. But at the same time, it's a full frame camera, and so on my wide angle lenses I get wider shots, and of course it has much higher dynamic range and just a beautiful creamy bokeh in the background and a great sensor. So I love this full frame D850. This is the 24-to-120 that I packed for just general purpose candids and photos and so on. But this is the setup I was using yesterday. This, believe it or not, is a 300mm lens. It's an f4 fixed aperture. Nikon calls it their 300mm f4.0 VRPF. The PF stands for Phase Fresnel Technology, some new black magic that allows them to make this lens that normally would be this long and turn it into something as small as a 24 to 70mm lens. It's unbelievable, and it's wicked sharp. I love it. Now, I also have it paired with this converter. This is the TC14E version 3. I don't always use the converter, but for most of the shots yesterday I did use it. And when I wasn't using it, I typically had the camera in a crop mode of some sort. And that's what the camera looks like. Pop the hood on. Tip of the day, always use a lens hood. Whether it's sunny out or not, a lens hood is great protection for your lens. And of course it increases contrast in those glary, bright situations. Kind of like if you were going to a baseball game, you're going to wear a baseball cap, and it helps protect your eyes and allows you to see the field a little bit better. Lens hood kind of does a similar job for a camera. When I'm doing workshops, I always see students and beginning photographers who are just starting out and don't know what a lens hood is for. And I always encourage them to use lens hood. But anyway, that's the setup that I was using yesterday. It's a beauty. I love it. Would I love to have had my 200 to 400 f4.0? Yeah, that would have been great, but that lens is this long and it's wicked heavy. So super light, super small, super compact, and very versatile. If I use it with the crop sensor on the camera and the converter and the 300mm, that equates to the equivalent of a 630mm f5.6 lens. If I use it with the converter on a full frame, that's equivalent to a 420mm lens. If I use it without the converter and just the crop sensor on the camera, that's equivalent to a 450mm lens. And of course, with the full frame and no converter, it's a 300mm lens. So everything from 300 up to 630mm. Great, very versatile setup for super compact and easy to carry. Anyway, time to get on the road today. We're crossing the border into Mexico, and I will see you soon.
I've been running all my days, and all my troubles have found a better way. And I've been trying to clear my head of all the useless words I never said. But oh, let's slow it down. Love